Mesachas Nedarim the Samach Beis. The Gemara says, Tana Hukfilo hamuktzaot mutoris mishum gezel leptur min hamaisa. That means if the roiv of the knives, the kalim, that people use to harvest the fruits were already put away for the season, so you see that the season is finished and they don't have in mind to go and gather the remaining fruit that are in the field. The Ran and Rashi learn that therefore it's mutter because of Yiyosh. However, Taisvis and the Rosh say that Mistamo, the Bailim, will mafkir the fruits that are remaining in the field. It's Tzorchin, according to the Ran, has a pas Yiyosh since the fruit are in the field of the Balabayas. It's Tzorchin, the Ramban says in Bob Metzia, the Yish B'Rishus doesn't help. So over here, it's in the Rishus of the Bailam that has a pas Yish. Yish is an Aved or Gzela that's not in the Rishus of the Bailam. However, over here, it's in the Rishus of the Bailam. So how's a Chal Yish on a Dover that's B'Rishus? Kveger holds that passes Yish B'Rishus, so it's also hative. And even according to the Ramban, it's totally in two Mahalchim. What the understanding in the Ramban, the Yish B'Rishus does not help. Shimon and the Chaznish learn that Yish B'Rishus does not help because it's a halacha that Yish only passes on a chayfetz that's ovid from the Bailam. However, a chayfetz that's in the Rishus Bailam, it doesn't pass the Chalais Yish B'chlal. So according to Shimon and the Chaznish, it's fair from more over here. However, the Biskrov brought in Sefer Devrei Seifim learns understanding, and the Ramban is that the reason why it doesn't help Yish B'Rishus is because it's Yish B'Tois. That means he was Mesiayish on something that was in his house and is in his Rishus. It's not a real Yish, it's mistaken. He didn't really mean to be Miyayish over here, since it's clear that he was Miyayish, since it's the end of the season and he doesn't have a mind anymore to go back and take the fruits that are remaining, therefore it's a Yish. It's Tzorchin according to Taisus and the Rosh that learned that the Bailam Mafke, the Peiris, it's Tzorchin, it's before in the Sugi before that Memhei, the Hefke has to be in front of three people, and he wasn't mafkin in front of three people. So according to the Goin, which you mentioned, the Shed of Memhei, that says that we paskin, the hefker is mahani in front of one person, and that they need in front of three people is only to part of him trumas remaisis. It's good because that over here it's mutim shem gezel, because there's a hefker in front of one person, but it's still shver. Why is it part of a meiser? But if you learn out like a Goin, it's even more shver. But over here, since there's an umdano, so therefore it's mehani hefke even without three people, ein machanfrayim, that learns that you need three people is only to make it clear that you're mafkeret. Another mahalach you could say, according to its inform Shmuel, which you mentioned the shir on Def Memhei, that Shmuel learns that be'emes hefke needs a dibur, and that the stam glolim afkuri mafkiluhu is an independent halacha of hefker. That since it's clear in the situation that these items are hefker, so therefore it's chal even without a ma'aser hefker. So therefore be chal even without the hefker in front of three people. So over here also, since it's clear that these payers are hefker, so therefore you don't need three people, you don't need a diba to make the payers into hefker. And Shlomo Kluger needs disease and asks, what's the understanding in the sugi? Why are these fruits mutarim? When you say ein holchin bimamon acharoiv, since there is a miyat of people that did not yet put away the kalim, so therefore there's a miyat that the fruit are not mutarim. You should say ein holchin bimamon acharoiv. That means although the halacha is that the kol kuli go basaroiv, bimamon is we paskin that roiv can't be moitzi mamon from a muchzik. So Shlomo Kluger says that maybe that's good for the Shail and the Gemara over here. That's Mechokes Rebbe and Rebbe Yosef by Yehuda, and it's also hated that the Rambam doesn't bring this halacha because the Rambam holds ein holchin bimamon acharoiv. So therefore, he didn't bring the halacha that Hukfilo hamuktzaot the mutaris mishum gezel. And then Shlomo Kluger says no, over here that doesn't pass the halacha of ein holchin bimamon acharoiv, specifically when there's a clear roiv and a clear miyut. Then you say ein holchin bimamon acharoiv. Mashenkin over here, it wasn't clear that there's a miyut of people that did not yet put away the kalim, so therefore b'chaygavan it doesn't pass the halacha of ein holchin bimamon acharoiv. The Torah can be moisiv according to Taisus in Sanhedrin of Gimel that says that when there's a roiv gomor, then it passes holchin moment acharoif. So over here also could be it's like a Rav Gomer, because since everybody we know was Hukfilo hamuktzaot, so therefore it's a Rav Gomer and your holchin bimamon acharoif. Moving further on, the Gemara says that one should not learn for hakavod, rather one should learn me'ava v'seif hakavod lavoh. Shlomo Klugen did Reziz and asked, what's the understanding in this Gemara? Why the Gemara is stressed for seif hakavod lavoh, since learning has to be l'shem shemayim and l'shmo, and not in order to get kavod. So why the Gemara say for seif hakavod lavoh? On that, Shlomo Klugen says the answer to this kasha is that's Mavu and the Haflo, tremendous Yisoy and similar in Rukveger, that he explains that the Gemara says in Chagiga, Daf Gimel, that the Taf came to hakel litin schar lemeviehem, and it's surchi, and why are you bringing Taf litin schar lemeviehem? It's Mavu altia hakavod and mishamshin as a ravam nas the kabel pras. We don't do mitzvahs in order to get schar. So why is it stated over here that we're bringing the Taf to hakel litin schar lemeviehem? So the floor says that they can't be mishamish as a rav amnas the kabel pras is specifically if you're doing mitzvahs in order that you should get schar for your own benefit. However, if you're doing mitzvahs amnas that you should get schar and you should get rewarded, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should have the nachas ruach to give you the schar for mitzvahs, because the entire world was made, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to be made in Briya Yisov, and the fact that we're getting schar for mitzvahs is a chelik of the rotzen of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So if you have in mind that you're doing mitzvahs amnas the kabel pras, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should have nachas ruach by the fact that he's going to give you schar mitzvahs, that's not a chesaron of being over as a rav amnas the kabel pras. So Shlomo Kluger says that's understanding in the Gemara over here as well, that perhaps you could have in mind when you're learning, that you're learning al das to get kavod. However, that you can have in mind, that you're learning to get kavod is that Kadosh Baruch Hu should mal his rotzen, that he wants to mechab Briya Yisov, and befrat those that are Talmidei Chachamim and those that Harvard and learning so many years. So therefore, you're allowed to have in mind that you should learn Torah through the HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be mal his rotzen, give nachas ruach to Briya Yisov and to give kavod to Briya Yisov. So that you're allowed to have in mind. So he says that's understanding the Gemara over here, that the Gemara says v'seif hakavod lavoh, that if your main intention is that you should have kavod because you want to have kavod, that you can't have in mind, and therefore that in such a situation the stress would be in the beginning that you're learning for kavod. However, over here the Gemara is saying you should learn me'ava. For Ava Kodesh Baruch Hu, like he explains over there, Ava she'ena tluya b'tova, because you really love HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'teirasai, and v'soif hakavod lavoh, that after you steig tremendously in Torah and your Shemayim, you mainly get kavod, since it's not that you should gain the kavod, rather that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should have an nachas ruach by giving you a kavod. Such a kavod is only at the end, and such a kavod is mutter. Moving further on, Chaim Volozhin Nefesh HaChaim and Shar Dalet is meirich to explain the chashivas of limud Torah l'shmo, and this is the foremost ma'amakim in the Olam Yeshivas for the derech halimud of Torah l'shmo, and he's meirich to explain what is Torah l'shmo, what's not Torah l'shmo, and one of the tremendous ma'amakim to explain what Torah l'shmo is the Rosh in our Gemara over here, and he's meirich to explain that many people make a mistake and think that Torah l'shmo means dveikus HaKadosh Baruch Hu without a hefsek, and he says there are those that make even a greater mistake and think that Torah l'shmo is Torah with dveikus, and if you're not mizdavik for HaKadosh Baruch Hu at the time you're learning, so your learning is worthless, and therefore they don't even start learning because they understand they can't come to dveikus through their learning. However, Nefesh Chaim says that's Mavu in the Rosh now is sugya, that Torah l'shmo doesn't mean dveikus HaKadosh Baruch Hu, rather it means Torah l'shem Torah, that the Gemara over here says, the Omer Belazman Tzaddik, I say dvorim l'shem poyalam v'daber behen l'shmon l'shem poyalam. The Rosh explains l'shmo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'daber lehem l'shmon kol diburcha b'divrei Torah yir l'shem haTorah. K'goin leida ulahovin ulahoisif lekach upilpul. So Reb Chaim Volozhin says that you see clearly in the Rosh that he said, "Asay dvarim lepoyalom" is the shame. L'shmoy shel Kodesh Baruch Hu, he's referring to mitzvahs. The mitzvahs, although the actual ma'aseh mitzvahs, the ikar mitzvah, nevertheless, it's a very important milah to do all mitzvahs, l'shem shemayim, and to be dovek b'Kadosh Baruch Hu at the time you're doing a mitzvah. However, at the time you're learning Torah many times, with Pischei Nida and Mekach Umemka, between fights between two people, that the mitzvah is not to be dovek b'Kadosh Baruch Hu, rather the mitzvah is to have in mind l'shem haTorah atzma. That means leido lohovin or lohoisiv lekach upilpul. And the yesod and nekuda of Torah l'shma means l'shem haTorah leido lohovin lohoisiv lekach upilpul. And the Chaim Volozhin is meirich afterwards with the tremendous arichas of the chashivas and importance for someone to be makdim Yerushalayim and to misboided b'tshuva before he learns Torah, so that he'll be able to connect properly to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to get to the highest levels of Torah l'shma. V'ayin sham, tremendous arichas b'zeh.